You know what? TT Games didn't really have to do too much to ensure that sales of LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens were going to be high, but boy, did they ever. This is a true gift to every Star Wars fanatic out there. And yes, LEGO and TT Games have explored Star Wars to death in a lot of different games, and a lot of them have been great, but this is a new experience in the LEGO gameplay kind of direction. You know, it's not even that similar to what they've just done with LEGO Marvel's Avengers, which I thought was a pretty phenomenal showing when you considered all of the facets of the gameplay. There was a tremendous amount of depth in that game, and once again, there's a tremendous amount of depth in LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens. I'm just going to call it LEGO Force Awakens now because that's too many words.
Waiter!
Uh-oh. That's always something I like to hear.
But this is a terrific game that really kind of goes off in some awesome new tangents, particularly when it comes to the aerial dogfights, which I think have always been a little bit underwhelming in the LEGO games in the past. This time, you don't want them to end. And that may be my biggest quibble with this game, is that there are some sequences in here that you just want them to be extended a little bit. And I loved flying around as the Millennium Falcon, taking out all kinds of TIE fighters, or jumping into the cockpit of Poe's X-Wing and flying around, taking out TIE fighters and bigger ships, and blowing up sort of installations with bigger torpedoes and stuff like that.
The First Order must be bombarding the asteroid!
But I think the other elements in here that were really wonderful to experience and to explore were the new dynamics between the characters on the ground, particularly when you get into things like gun battles that actually require you to duck and cover behind obstructions for the first time. We've never seen this in a LEGO game. It kind of turns it into a LEGO Gears of War kind of vibe for a little bit. And it is a little bit gimmicky. It's certainly not as smooth and sort of finessed as some of the old tried and true bust it and then build it kind of mechanic stuff that we've seen in LEGO games before. But I thought it was a nice break in the action, and I always appreciated every time one of those sequences came. Even though, you know, they sometimes, especially in contrast to the dogfighting sequences, seem to overstay their welcome a little bit. I'm talking about the duck and cover shooting. One of the things that I do have an issue with, and they'll probably address this in an update, is I couldn't adjust the camera for my old school invert aiming, which made it a little bit more difficult for the precision that I wanted in this game. And it's crazy that you need to think about this a lot more than you've had to in previous LEGO experiences. There are a lot of targets to find. There are a lot of specific enemies that you have to hit in order, in sequence, before you can progress through the story, and that precision targeting was something that I really required. You know, jumping between the characters I think was elegantly handled this time. There are lots of really cool activities for BB-8 to do, and it's a nice you know, collection of abilities between the characters that you, as we've seen in many LEGO games before, all of the characters have to kind of take on certain responsibilities in order for you to progress through the level. And of course, there is a lot of replay value in there. You see all kinds of little character icons pop up. You know, you might need to re-explore an area with Darth Vader, or re-explore an area with Luke Skywalker or something to, you know, get the 100%, to get all those mini kits, and to get all the gold bricks and stuff. Lots of things to unlock and explore like you find in every other LEGO game. But it doesn't seem to be as meandering. I felt like there was a little bit more of a logical progression through the gameplay. I thought the level design was terrific. You do get a nice sweeping kind of look across all of the key scenes from The Force Awakens. You also have a prologue mission, which is basically the Battle of Endor, which is crazy. Han Solo gets to chase some Ranthars, which is really cool, so you get to understand what they were doing on the big freighter ship he and Chewie were commanding when he had all the pirates chasing after him, and then he had to take over the Millennium Falcon. All that stuff was probably my favorite mission in the game, too. That part from The Force Awakens was fantastically recreated here in LEGO form. And, you know, the other major thing that I have to say about this game is they've employed the voice cast from The Force Awakens to voice all of these characters again, and it wasn't just clips from the film. It's actually them back in the booth recording dialogue, sometimes brand new dialogue.
You okay, big deal?
But then you recognize that Harrison Ford has never been in a video game before. This is the first time he's ever been in a video game. And that fact alone, and because he's in it so much, kind of makes this an unbelievably cool collectible if you're a Star Wars nerd, of which I am certainly one of. And I was just had a big beaming grin on my face the whole time I was playing this. I played this with my daughter, so this was her first Star Wars story to experience. We played the whole thing from beginning to end. I couldn't put it down, honestly. It was just really, really fun, funny, charming, really tuned Lego gameplay. There's a lot of familiar stuff in there, but there's a lot of stuff that's just so clever and sort of, done with a new coat of paint and some new concepts and new ideas. TT Games is a very special company. They are definitely dipping into the well of these Lego experiences over and over again, but they make quality experiences. And one of the greatest things about them is their co-op nature and the ability to kind of share this experience with others. And, I've just been able to pass on a little bit of that Star Wars love to my kid and turn her into a little bit of a Star Wars nerd. And so far, BB-8 is her favorite character, and I totally understand that because he is so damn charming. Love this game. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.